Since questions of race and diversity are so top of mind and front burner right now, let me ask you, as you size up companies, how you measure whether a company is doing well on diversity metrics. What are the metrics, and do you have enough data really to know?
We really focus on two levels. First and foremost, at the board level. We look for diversity among the board of directors because there's a lot to be said for the tone at the top. And there, we're really looking for diversity of thought along multiple dimensions. Quite frankly, I think we really have to move beyond just looking at gender. We definitely look at the percentage of women on the board, but we also look for the percentage of racial and ethnic minorities. We look for the number of skills and the diversity of skills that are represented on the board of directors, and that should flow through also to the composition of the various committees of the board. And yes, you can measure these things. We have a data set that we license, that we've developed into a proprietary way of measuring board effectiveness, and board diversity is a very important component of that.
I don't know whether you happened to read over the weekend in the New York Times a very indicting article by David Gellis titled "Corporate America is Failing Black America," and it talks about how some companies have advanced the number of racially diverse people on their boards, but have not done it in the leadership ranks. Indulge me for a minute here. And to read from this article, which I recommend to people. The nation's largest healthcare company, CVS, has no black people on its senior leadership team. In finance, there are no black people on the senior leadership team of Bank America, JP Morgan, or Wells Fargo. In technology, there are 0 black members of the senior leadership teams of Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. And in total, there are just 4 black chief executives among the 500 largest companies in the country. If you're not measuring and looking at the leadership teams and other metrics, how can you really get a sense of whether the company, deeper than the board level, is really living what they're preaching?
That is a very important observation. And one of the challenges that we have as investors is getting good data at the enterprise level. So the data at the board level is available. You have to look for it, most certainly, but it is available. But it's much more difficult to get the actual statistics on the senior leadership team or on the overall employee base. We have better data and better disclosure around gender within the enterprise, but we are really lacking in terms of our visibility to and ability to measure the diversity of the leadership team and employee base overall. I will say that disclosures are improving. So as companies have realized that investors and other stakeholders are interested in understanding their human capital management strategies and their actual practices as it relates to diversity and inclusion, some of them are beginning to release more data, both on representation as well as pay equity. But we have a long way to go.
That was a really interesting point you just made there, Valerie, on pay equity and data below those board seats and so forth. That data is hard to dig out. Some companies, haven't they, tied executive pay to meeting certain diversity metrics? Am I right on that? A quick answer, please, 30 seconds.
A few is the quick answer. A few. That's relatively uncommon.
Just a few.
Yes.